today. So pretty much, if you saw my short video, you would know that I talked about a little bit about door dashing, and so I'm wearing this mask because like today I'm gonna just have a dragon head mask. This is dragon head mask 2. I had dragon head mask 1 is somewhere, but right now I'm using dragon head 2. Actually, more like dragon head 3 mask, but that's beside the point. The point is this is my second dragon head mask that I can actually talk in. It actually works really well for me. Anyway, long story short, what I want to talk to you today about is the subject of the DoorDash making tipping an afterthought to protest New York City's wage raise. So I'm going to read to you the notes, and pretty much if you wanted to comment or ask me any questions about it, feel free. And so I'm just going to go ahead and share with you what I know and how it works and stuff like that. Let me just fix this up here so my eyes don't look crooked. Yes, there it goes. All right, so I'm going to read it to you, and here, enjoy. DoorDash makes tipping an afterthought to protest New York City's wage raise. Delivery workers in New York City were recently granted a new almost $18 per hour minimum wage. And yes, I got the memo for that. I'm a Dasher. And so it happens for most markets where DoorDash operates, customers are prompted to tip on the checkout screen with a middle option already selected by default. If they want to, they can adjust the tip later from the status screen while awaiting their food or even after it's delivered. That's changing today. While blaming New York City's minimum wage increase for delivery workers, DoorDash announced that for select markets, including New York City, tipping is now exclusively a post-checkout option, which makes it interesting for us as DoorDashers, but we'll read on. The company says that the change is intended to better balance the impact of new costs resulting from the city's change. It wrote that the new regulation will force it to raise fees, so the move is meant to ensure our platform remains affordable for all New Yorkers. The same company recently started testing and warning customers their order may take longer while they choose not to tip at the checkout. Right, so that we were all concerned about that. Many of us were concerned as to what they're going to do. Is it going to be one of those things where they're going to be like, okay, you do this, and people are not going to tip, or they're going to be not wanting to tip or not use the app at all? Which I mean, pretty much, some people do, some people don't. Everybody has their whatever they want to, but this is one of those things that I use a lot during the pandemic. But now it's like the pandemic is people are kind of switching back and forth. Some people are doing it. Some people want like just don't want to have to go out in the middle of the night, and so you send a dasher in to go get the food for them. And so, we out there were driving, out there riding their bikes and stuff like that. And so one thing they talked about was the bike thing. Now they're talking about the whole thing with the car stuff. Well, I mean, pretty much down to talking congestion pricing. And so they're really pushing this whole congestion pricing. But let's go back to what the message is. The company said it intends to better balance the impact of new costs resulting from the city's change. It wrote that the new regulations will force it to raise fees, so the move is meant to ensure our platform remains affordable for all New Yorkers. The same company recently started testing, warning customers the order might take longer when they choose not to tip at checkout. DoorDash's new policy and old complaints came after a new law in New York City increased the wage of delivery drivers to a minimum of $17 per hour, which a state appeals court upheld last week after the company and others tried to have the law overturned. DoorDash has not been a fan and insisted at hearing in April and again in June that it's on the hook for more than the city's newly mandated $17.96 per hour, which is almost 18 bucks, 4 cents shy of 18 bucks. Um, Writing that New York Dashers will now earn at least 29.93 per hour of active time. The emphasis is mine. The company doesn't count the time Dashers wait between orders as on the clock workers. As on the clock workers. Before the change, those workers earned a base pay rate of $7 per hour. All right, so DoorDash pointedly claimed that its specious, it's specious. It's specious. What kind of word is specious? It's like spacious, specious. Specious 30 per hour rate is twice New York City minimum $15 minimum wage for other workers. The New York NYC Consumer and Workers Protection Department explained in a study preceding the new law that the higher rate accounts for the extra tax burden DoorDashers face as independent contractors. Do you see this? Do you see my cross? The pay increase came after labor groups like Los Deliveristas Unidos and the Workers' Justice Project spent years advocating for higher pay in their petition for the pay increase. The Deliveristas point to the dangers of delivery work as well as its associated expenses, which they say can be as much as almost $17,000 per year. DoorDash says it's also paused its Dasher Priority Access incentive program that feeds higher paying work to the best rated delivery workers. Because of the New York City minimum wage guarantee, the company says the benefit offered by this program will not apply. So all those well, it got to be done. Let's maybe it might say done different, but it's saying that pretty much that there's the benefit that you have of being a top dasher as well as being have a high acceptance rate. It's not going to change the fact. So now it's anybody's game now. DoorDasher says the new tipping approach is effective today, just days after New York City Mayor Adams issued a release saying the app should immediately pay delivery workers the minimum pay rate as the New York Supreme Court ruled on September 28, 2023. Since September. Oh, my Lanta. After all that writing, I'm famished. Maybe I'll order some General Tso's chicken tonight with an extra tip for good measure. Let me tell you guys something real quick, right? I just finished door dashing. My family and I were out door dashing tonight. And so when we were out door dashing, this is I take my wife and my kids with me. Sometimes I go by myself. And what happens, I find that tonight we went out, and every time I did an order, right after the order was completed, I got like a notation and said that the person tipped me more. So, for example, there were some orders that were like, $5, right, or $5 or something like that. You get another tip. We get tip notification as soon as that was over. I should get a tip for another $5. So we're wondering, like, okay, maybe it's some kind of like a coercion or something, some kind of something, because we were just talking about how, the whole thing regarding like, if a person doesn't tip. So now it's kind of one of those things where now they're going to just tell you the base pay, and then they're going to, in a sense, coerce the, or, poke them with sharp sticks, the customers to, maybe do a quick tip or something. I never use the app, so I don't know what the other side of the equation is. But here in New York, well, we've been working at this for some time, and I've seen the prices have declined. I've seen it go from like where it's been a lot of money doing DoorDash when it's like middle of winter and stuff to where it kind of gets to the summertime and it kind of depreciates. But one thing I started noticing is like just recently, like today of all things, that this was one of those things that happened where you can see for yourself that well, I saw for myself that there was actually a change in the whole mindset of it all, where people started like I started getting tips. I got like after every order I got a tip that was like $5 or more, and I was like, okay, this is crazy. This is really crazy. This is really crazy. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there, let you guys know it was kind of an interesting night, and I'm gonna talk to you more about more stuff. But for the most part, though, I'm just kind of stuck thinking what's going to happen, what's going to mean. So tell me what you think in the comments, and let me know what you think. This is some of the thoughts that kind of go through my head as a driver. We went driving for about several hours, and it's supposed to be at the end of the 1 hour, it's supposed to have about $17, and so I'll have to show you some of the details on that. All right, so talk to you soon. All right, so God bless you. Talk to you soon. I'll see you. All right, bye. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Please do. Bye bye.